I was a project manager with IBM in the 70s, and a small group of us were disappointed that such a leading company didn't have a recognised method of managing projects. So we left, formed a company and created one. That was Prompt 2, and we were reasonably successful in lecturing in the method and selling it to a number of bodies, including the British government. Several years later, the government decided to set up a series of best practices, including our method of project management. The idea was that anyone would be able to use these best practices free of charge, and the government would set up exams and issue certificates in them. Prompt 2 was renamed Prince 2, and I was asked to write the first manual. That was back in 1996. Because of that, I was asked to be chief examiner, and in that role I wrote several hundred questions for the foundation exam and later the papers for the practitioner exam. Almost everyone today gets involved in some role in a project at some time in their work. PM4A offers them, in simple, easy terms, an understanding of what needs to be done in a project and how their role contributes to the success of that project. Therefore, it's ideal for those on the fringes of a project, those who are playing a support role in a project, any people who are looking at starting their first project management job, and also anyone who's run a project and experienced the difficulties of doing so without the benefit of a sound structure. It provides a sound basis for running a project and the methods to deal with all of the situations that can arise in a project. Almost everyone today gets involved in some role in a project at some time in their work. PM4A offers them, in simple, easy terms, an understanding of what needs to be done in a project and how their role contributes to the success of that project. Therefore, it's ideal for those on the fringes of a project, those who are playing a support role in a project, any people who are looking at starting their first project management job, and also anyone who's run a project and experienced the difficulties of doing so without the benefit of a sound structure. It provides a sound basis for running a project and the methods to deal with all of the situations that can arise in a project. Prince 2 has been the most successful product ever launched for those wishing to obtain a certificate in a method of project management. However, feedback from users, professional associates and demand from the marketplace has indicated the need for a less complex method of project management, one that could be applied by anyone regardless of the size of their project or the size of their business. When I probed into the reasons for the feedback, the general perception was that the method was useful for very complex projects that demanded a very complex project team in order to handle all the roles, the administration, and mountains of documentation. It was clear to me that the message on tailoring the method for projects that were less than huge just wasn't getting across. So I decided to write a method that, instead of catering for the largest of projects and then suggesting ways of bringing it down and tailoring it down for smaller projects, I would actually write a method that started just with project management basics and show how those could be applied to any kind of project and any size, regardless for a sole trader or a large corporation. PMP, if we look at the second part of the question, is something for experienced project managers. For example, a prerequisite of taking the exam is that the candidate has several thousand hours already of project leading and directing. Also, a good number of hours in project management education. The PMP exam covers 200 questions in 4 hours, and if you pass, the PMP membership costs $405. Not something to be taken too lightly, and certainly not an entry point into project work. If the person running a project has a Prince 2 or a PMP qualification, it's very likely that no one else in their project team has that qualification or even understands what it's all about. PM4A training is for everyone, and it would make sure that anyone running a project had a staff that understood the concepts and could support them in what they were doing in the project. PM4A training has two major benefits. It can be used to train all staff in project management basics, those in companies who are only on the periphery of projects and those who will only hold a supporting role in a project. But it is also ideal for those who currently have no qualification and are on the road to starting in project management. PM4A offers a short course and a short exam to enable everyone in a company to understand project management and hold a qualification that will benefit them in whatever work they do. It's simple, teachable and repeatable. It enables all projects to have the same structure, and senior management will be comfortable knowing that they are in control without the need for day-to-day involvement. In these ultra-competitive days, standing still means going backwards. To me, the digital age means two things. Change is happening at a rate that gets faster and faster, and change affects more and more of our workforce. You need a project to make a change, and everyone is going to be involved in projects in one role or another. Every company needs a project management method on which it can rely and which it can teach to its entire staff. PM4 gives you that. It's based on 50+ years of project management experience, my own plus others, successes and failures. It's simple, low cost, rapid learning, and is so comfortable to use. Everyone who will be involved in or touched by a project, and that means most people. People in project management or team leading roles are obvious choices, but team members, senior management, users and stakeholders will also benefit by understanding their role or just what's going on around them. Change can bring FUD, fear, uncertainty and doubt. Facing up to change, armed with a good structure and set of principles, banishes FUD and replaces it with a feeling of excitement and confidence. Get PM4A and go to work with a smile on your face.